Hello! So today's little video is all about sharing is caring. So one of the things I really love about the sewing community is the generosity of sewists to share tips and tricks and little details that they've learned, little, I won't call them shortcuts because that sounds like people are like cutting corners, but yeah, lovely little techniques that they've either learnt by themselves or have had shared from family members, maybe grandmothers, cousins. You get the drift. So I really love that. So people don't hold these close to their heart and not share them and keep them a secret. It's all about sharing. So today I'm going to share with you a little technique that I learned from a friend who learnt it from a friend who probably learnt it from a friend. And I've actually used this technique quite a few times in the past for different type of things that I've sewn. So at one stage I was sewing a lot of like wedding dresses, now more so making alterations to them, and bridesmaids dresses. So that was one part of my sewing career. And so what I used to do was I had some lovely techniques for brides to be able to bustle up their trains. And to do that, I wanted to make it look like it was almost invisible. So I would use a lot of fasteners involved, and particularly I used to use 15mm fasteners. Now, no bride wants a bunch of fasteners all over the back of her dress. So I learnt, again, from a friend, how to cover fasteners. So 15mm fasteners covered. So I'm going to show you how to cover these. And I mean, I know a lot of you are not going to be bustling up trains and things like that, but I have made these ones particularly to put on the front of a cardigan that I plan to make. It's all cut out. So I'm making the Lisbon cardigan from itch to stitch. It's a very simple little cardigan. It's made from a jersey fabric, and rather than put buttons and buttonholes or press studs, I'm actually going to cover more. I've two done so far. I'm going to cover more of these, and I'm going to sew them down the front instead of buttons, and I think they look really nice. So there'll be a little detail. I have them covered in the cutest little Liberty print, and I think they're going to make a lovely feature on the front of a plain cardigan, and there are loads of other places that you will use these as well. So I think the method of doing this is very cute. I had tried previous to learning this technique and it was just absolute disaster. So I'm going to share with you what was passed on to me from a friend, and I hope you enjoy. So what do we need today? We have a 15mm snap. I'm using this one because it's been in my stash for like forever, and I feel it needs to have its day to shine, and today is the day to shine. So our snap, an awl, piece of chosen fabric, a double threaded needle, and our scissors. So we're going to cut 2 squares. They're about, I guess, 5 centimeters square, and we're going to put right sides together, and then using our awl we're going to make a hole right in the center. So put the awl in and kind of shake it all about. This is to make a hole for the middle of the snaps. I wouldn't use the scissors because they will end up fraying. So grabbing this side of the snap, I'm going to put it through the hole just made by the awl, and just persevere to get it in through. There we go. And then put the second one on top, right sides together, and again, just to be slightly forceful. There we go. And then pop the other snap on top. Okay. What we want to do is cut around. So we want to cut about 5 centimeters out around. So the trick is to have just enough and not too much. It doesn't have to be exact, just nice and even. So something like that. Then grabbing your needle and thread and working on just one layer. So we're going to keep them all snapped together, but just one layer. I'm going to do, I have a knot on my thread. I'm going to do a back stitch. And then I'm going to do a little gathering stitch all around, making sure it's just the one layer. This is a little bit tricky, but just keep the other side of the fabric out of the way. So you can see there. Now I'm around. I'm going to snip off that extra thread. And then I'm going to pull up my gathering stitches. I'm going to do a back stitch. And then I'm going to do just a few stitches back and forth here to make the fabric lie nice and flat. And then I'm going to go in the other direction. You don't have to be tremendously neat because this is all happening underneath. A couple of back stitches to finish. Trim off the thread and then do the same on this side. Much easier when you only have one layer to work with. Gather it up. And a couple of stitches back and forth. Because if you have too much fabric or too much lump here, it doesn't look as nice when it's sewn onto your garment. there you go.